And this session is generally one of those things I really stress about and really tell people that ni vizuri ukuwe na something that you're doing. And the reason I actually say that you need to have a skill is because of the world that you're living in today. Kuongea ukweli, if you sit down and ask yourself the very simple question, how is the employment landscape in Kenya? Now, in this session, and specifically even on TikTok, how many guys are employed? How many guys are employed, Hapa? You're employed. If you're employed, you can give me a thumbs up. That is, if you're employed, you can actually give me a thumbs up. To those who want to join us on TikTok and you want to join the session, there's a link in my TikTok bio. There's a link in my TikTok bio. You can click on it, and it's actually going to add you directly into my Telegram channel where you can join us directly on Google Meet. So I'll go back to my question. How many guys over here are employed? You can actually comment with a thumbs up if you're employed. How many guys are employed? John Mwangi sijasema utume emoji ya kulia, tutafika kwako. How many guys are employed? If you're employed, you know? Now, I'm going to ask another question. How many guys are employed and you're happy? Kwenye unafanya kazi, you're employed and you're happy. Give me a thumbs up. If you're employed and you're very happy. No, I've said if you're employed and you're happy. Sijasema uanze kuleta makasiriko. How many guys are employed and are happy? Like you get a salary of 5,000 shillings na uko kazi kutoka 8 hadi jioni 8, yeah, but you're happy with 5,000 shillings. You see? Now I'll ask the next question. I'll get so many people. How many guys are employed and not happy? Employed and not happy. Give me a thumbs up if you're employed and you're not happy. Yeah? How many guys are employed and they're not happy over here? Okay. Naona ni watu wengi. Now I'll go to the final question. The final question is, wangapi hapa you're employed, sorry, you're not employed. Kabisa kabisa una job. Umetafuta, you've taken documents here. Karibu hata uulize application letter ya binguni ni gani, email address. You've literally looked for jobs left, right, and center. I can see so many hands. Very many people are saying that they are not employed, and it's a common scenario in Kenya. Kuongea ukweli, if you sit down and think about it, currently in Kenya, we are facing a major crisis. The crisis itself is unemployment. And the reason as to why most of us are not basically getting employment opportunities is because we overly have a problem with our country. But here's the thing. How many guys over here you have a certain skill? Hata kama wewe ni mechanic, if you're a mechanic, wewe ni nini? I'm not saying kama wewe ni pastor, that I don't count that as a skill. If you have any kind of skill, you can actually comment with a thumbs up. This is a thumbs up. I'm not if you have any kind of a skill. Now, in the chat section of this particular session, kindly tell us which particular skill set do you have? Wewe ni fundi, wewe ni tailor, wewe ni mechanic. What is your specific skill set? I'm looking everywhere kuona the skill sets that people have. Someone is saying I'm in audio and video editing. I'm looking at an architect over here, videography and photography is also a skill. Someone else has a skill in banking. Someone else has a skill of survival. Hey, uko na skill ya survival. Another person has a skill in it's baking. Yeah, that is Anduku. Someone says that they have a skill in writing and design. Esther Agola says that she has a skill in baking. Someone else is a carpenter. Someone else is in painting. Another person is a beginner level in video editing. Another person is in forex and writing. Someone else is in graphic design, which is very good. Another person says that they're in phone repair. Someone else says that they're in data analysis and writing chat moderation. Another person is in digital marketing. Now we're going to look at TikTok. We have software engineer. Someone is in marketing and sales. That is Lydia. We have a video editor. Someone is a security guard over here. Someone else is a freelancer. Someone else is in sales and market research. Another person over here is an automotive engineer. Another person is in painting and designing. Now, I'll honestly ask you one very simple question, ladies and gentlemen. That particular skill that you have, that particular skill that you have, you've said you're skilled in something. Does it make you money? Does it make you money? That skill that you have, does it make you money? If it makes you money, give me a thumbs up. If that particular skill set that you have, does it make you money? Umesema wewe ni carpenter. Do you have a, do you make money from? Yeah. You've said you're a security guard. Security guard is not really a skill. It's probably a, a career. Let me just put it like that. Does that particular skill set that you have make you money? Someone is saying that I am a teacher by profession. A teacher, what is your specialty? That specialty is what we are looking for. And I'll be very honest and tell you that at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we all have to remember one very simple thing. And the very simple thing that we have to remember today is that the world is now operating on the fuel that you can, on the fuel of skills itself. Okay. Now, in this session, who can tell me what a skill is? Today we're having a discussion. Leo hakuna story ya PowerPoint presentation. We're not going to be sharing CG all these slides. We are having a discussion, an intricate discussion on what skills are. Who can tell me what a skill is in this particular session? Who can tell me what a skill is? Who can tell me what a skill is? You can actually raise your hand. You raise your hand, and I'll actually allow you to speak and tell us what a skill is. Raise your hand if you want to tell us what is a skill. Yeah? Kuna mtu ameinua mkono. Ian Kongo, what is a skill?
A skill, this is something that you have perfected doing, an art that you have perfected in doing, and that you can do well. That's what I define a skill.
According to Kongo, Ian says that it is a, you've said it is a what?
It's an art that you have perfected in doing.
It is
An
an
art.
art. It is an art that you've perfected in doing.
Something
That's
that
very good.
doing.
Something that you've perfected in doing. That's a skill. I mean, that's a right definition. Apigiwe makofi. You can actually give him a round of applause for that particular definition. Brian Kiprono, what is a skill according to you?
Yes, a skill is anything that you are capable to do it and put it in practice.
Okay.
That's what I can say.
Good. Something that you're capable at doing and you're able to actually put it in practice. That's a very nice definition. A round of applause again to Brian Kiprono for that. John Nganga, what is a skill according to you?
A skill is the ability of one to have passion in doing something in order to perfect it.
Okay, a very nice definition. I'm actually very happy to see gentlemen today. Most of the time, I'm only getting ladies who are actually responding, but it's very nice to see gentlemen. Kidogo, it's nice. Jacinta Misiani, what is a skill according to you?
Good evening, Elvis.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, I can say that a skill is something that you've perfected to help you solve a certain problem.
Okay, something that you've perfected to help you solve a certain problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very nice definition of a skill. So over and above, I think we give a round of applause to those guys who've actually defined what a skill is. I think that's a very nice definition, and thank you for really responding to that and answering the question so well. Now, the question of a skill. A skill, I'm going to give you a definition of what a skill is. Now, a skill is the ability to perform a specific tasks. Sorry, it is the ability to perform a specific task or activity proficiently, typically through number one, practice, number two, training or experience. All right, let me repeat that again. A skill is the ability to perform a specific task or activity proficiently, typically acquired through practice, training, or experience. Now, like for example, I'm going to ask you a very simple question, gentlemen. If you went and you sat down with a carpenter and ukae na that carpenter for 3 months, do you think you can actually call yourself a carpenter after those 3 months? Is it a yes or a no? You go, you sit down with a carpenter for 3 months. All right? You sit down with a carpenter for 3 months and you observe what they do. They tell you this is how you do it. And in 3 months, can you call yourself a carpenter? Is it a yes or a no? According to you, is it a yes or a no? Someone is saying no. A good number of
It was fucked.
Hey, Congo Ian, you mute your microphone. We don't want to hear some of the things that you're saying. So most people are saying no. Now, I want you to listen to that definition I've given you of the definition I've actually given you of a skill. A skill is the ability to perform a specific task or activity proficiently, and it is typically acquired through number one. The way you acquire a skill is number one, practice, number two, training or experience. Now, the simple question I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Wewe umeenda ukakaa na fundi. You stayed with a carpenter for how many months? 3 months. Umeketi, you've observed what this particular carpenter is doing. Umeangalia akitengeneza meza, umeangalia akitengeneza cabinet. You looked at that particular carpenter making even wardrobes for people. And in 3 months, you've been able to know how to actually become a carpenter, and you know how to do all these things. Can you call yourself a carpenter? That's a question I want to ask you. Especially to those guys who are saying no. Yes, first of all, you can call yourself a carpenter. Why? Because you've been able to acquire that skill. What? What have you literally done? Who can tell me in this particular session? Who can tell me, unmute yourself and tell us why that particular person is referring themselves to actually, yeah? Tell us why that particular person can actually refer to themselves as a carpenter. Who can tell me why? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and start speaking.
Hello.
Yes.
I think the person is entitled to be called a carpenter because he has first acquired the basics in carpentry.
You've been able to acquire the basics after 3 months of
Yes.
observation and seeing what that particular carpenter is doing. So ideally, you can call that person a carpenter. A round of applause to Mike Brian for that definition. Asante sana for that. Very nice. It's a very nice thing that you've actually done. Now, a skill. The thing that we have today in Kenya is that we don't get a lot on the message on skills. Mara mingi, like if you look at it, majority of us, what we get is that unaambiangwa, go to university. Okay, let me just, how many guys have been in the 844 system here? Sidhani kuna watu wa CBC hapa, right? Kuna watu wa 844, you can actually give me a thumbs up. Kama kuna mtu wa CBC here, enda ukafanya homework. But is there anyone good? We don't have CBC. I don't think we should even have CBC over here. But most of the guys who've been in 844, if you look at the 844 system, 844 system itself, it says that you go to primary school for 8 years, then you go to high school for 4 years, and then probably you join college or university in 4 years. So in total, you're going to have covered 16 years in school. After you cover 16 years in school, the next thing that you have to remember is that graduate, what's the first thing that you're told to do? In the chat section of this particular session, when you graduate from university or you graduate from whichever college that you've come out from, what is the first thing that you're told to do? You're told to go and start looking for a job. How many people have been told that? Umeambiwa amuka, go and look for a job. Just by the mere fact that you've been learning and studying for some 16 years, umekuwa shule, ukifunzwa butterfly, umefunzwa abdomen, umefunzwa parts of a caterpillar, umeenda ukafunzwa sijui frog, ukafunzwa balanced diet. Now, with all those things that you've learned, after all that confusion, umeambiwa sasa ukatafuta kazi. Yeah? And why do most people actually end up having a lot of problems wakitafuta kazi? Because you have actually been told what to do. Umeambiwa enda ukatafuta kazi. How many guys over here are degree holders? If you're a degree holder, kama uko na degree, hata kama ni 3 ama 7 ama 10. Very many people in Kenya today are degree holders. In 1980, I think watu wenye walikuwa na degree ni watu wachache sana. And that's the reason as to why you used to find that these people used to actually find it easy to get jobs. All right. That's why you find that most of our parents actually were able to find jobs. But for us, it's a problem. Kila unakuta people living in one estate, mnaishi ploti moja, but hiyo ploti yenu kila mtu ako na degree. Like literally right now, if you even went to, unauliza mtu wa bodaboda anakuambia, hey bro, mi niko na degree ya economics, mi niko na diploma ya hii. It's something very common. The thing that we don't like to talk about a lot of times is skill set. And skill sets are the important thing that we need to be talking about as a country. Why? Because with a skill set, you have the ability to do something. Most people confuse skill set with sijui kutafuta job. With a skill set, you can actually do something. Now listen to this. I've taught you how to make this pen. Nimeenda nikakufunza how to make this particular pen. And you know that you can make money by making this pen. Are you telling me utaamka asubuhi uende ukatafute job? I've told you how to make this pen. I've told you this is how you make the pen. This is where you get the raw materials. This is where you get the products. This is how you assemble the pen. I've told you everything about how to assemble this pen. Are you going to wake up in the morning and start looking for a job? Is it a yes or a no? I've told you, mi nimesema, nimekuambia, this is how you can actually make this pen. I've given you everything you need. I've taught you how to make this pen. And then I've told you, now, Sasa, it's now up to you to actually create opportunity for yourself. And what I've actually done is imparted something we refer to as a skill set into you. And that's the thing I'm only trying to bring about in this session today, that it is very, very important that we all talk about skill set, abilities. Now, let me move. Now, we have various categories of skills. Skills are very many. First of all, we have technical skills. How many guys have any technical skill? Programming, development, architect. How many guys have any technical skill over here? That's another one. Technical skills basically involve specific knowledge and abilities that are required to perform professional tasks or operate particular tools or technology. Now, an example of a technical skill is, how many guys can create a website over here? How many guys can create a website over here? How many guys can actually create an app? How many guys can create an app over here? If you know you can actually create an app. That's a brief example of a technical skill. And technical skills allow you to actually do things professionally. Do we have anyone who is in artificial intelligence over here? Anyone who is an AI consultant? Am you're in cybersecurity? Those are basically technical skills that are actually working so well in today's world. All right. Number two type of skill is soft skills. Now, soft skills themselves, they're also known as interpersonal skills. Yeah. An example of soft skills ni kitu kama communication. Kuna watu wanakuanga na shida ya communication. Very many people are not able to actually communicate properly. And communication is a very, very important skill. Number two, we have teamwork. Teamwork. Teamwork is another important skill. Have you ever seen these dysfunctional organizations? Unakuta mukiingia kazini, lazima upigane na soja, mtusiane hapo. Unanifreeze kwa nini wewe? Wewe unashinda unanifreeze hapa hivi. Unionangi hapa kila siku, unanifreeze. You go, unaenda directly to the office, you find that Susan from the office is probably interested in your work husband. Mnaanza kupigana tena. When a task is given to you and delegated to you, you cannot even work. Why? Because mnashinda tu mkikosana. Teamwork is another very important skill that we need to have. Problem solving. Problem solving is another soft skill. And problem solving itself is basically solving problems. Like, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. When a bulb blows in your house, what do you do? What do you do? In the comment section of this particular session, tell us, what would you do as a person? Bulb ya nyumba yako, it has blown. What do you do? What do you do? Someone is saying, sijui unaenda unaita mechanic and you buy a new one. No, apart from buying a new one, what do? You change. Kuna mtu, before they think of changing, they've probably called 3 of their boyfriends or ex-boyfriends. Oh, my bulb. Or probably you're bothering your girlfriend. Problem solving is one skill that we all need to have. Like, for example, most people, like, I'll be very honest with you. Most businesses are actually just paid to solve problems. Look at Safaricom, M-Pesa. M-Pesa yenyewe makes it easy for you to receive money anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. They've solved a problem. Equity Bank allows you to access a certain financial products. You can actually bank your money. Now, instead of you carrying cash all the time, what do? You take your money to the bank. A circle solves your problem. Yeah. If you look at something else probably what else? What else can we say that it's solving a problem? Look at something like Jumia. Jumia allows you to have everything in one particular platform where you can actually do something we refer to as online shopping. So basically, that mostly is it. So that's something else of a problem solving skill. And then finally, we have another soft skill which is called leadership. How many people over here, kama umewahi kuwa na cheo, kama umewahi kuwa na cheo, na sijamaanisha ati sijui DH master, sijui ulikuwa assistant captain, sijui in the dining hall. No, I'm saying cheo. You had a certain position in your community. Yeah. Na sisemi ati wewe ati juu ulikuwa mtoto wa chief you start telling us that wewe ulikuwa mtoto wa chief ama wewe ni mtoto wa chief. You have a certain leadership position that you have. Leadership is another soft skill that we have. And the reason I'm actually mentioning leadership is because you find that leadership nowadays is something that we all need as human beings. Now, assuming we didn't have leaders, just sit down one day, hata kama unachukia Ruto aje, assuming you never had a president, assuming you never had a governor, assuming you never had a senator, assuming you never had a member of parliament. So the thing about soft skills themselves, leadership being a very important skill, is because you can actually get to inspire and actually motivate people to actually do something. And this is another skill that we talk about, which is leadership. Then we also have cognitive skills. Kwanza easy sometimes. And I normally refer to cognitive skills as common sense. Cognitive skills basically involve mental capabilities such as learning, cognitive skills such as learning, thinking, reasoning, remembering, problem solving, decision making, and attention. Cognitive skills, they involve mental capabilities such as learning. You can sit down and learn something. Thinking is a skill, by the way. There are people who are paid to think. Yeah. Probably like you never know it, but there are guys who are paid to think. They are told, think about it, think about it, think about it. Then reasoning, kuna watu, like especially reasoning is one thing that we don't get a lot, but is also an important cognitive skill. Remembering, kuna watu wanakuanga na shida ya kukumbuka what they did yesterday, sijui ulipewa namba ulishasahau. This is another example of a cognitive skill. So ideally, you can, the reason as to why I talk about skills, because they're everywhere. Problem solving, we've mentioned that. Then we also have decision making. We, tutakula nini sapa? Hatuwezi fanya hivi, tutadu nini sasa? Tutaamka twende wapi? Aki sasa tutadu, tutapanda gari tufanye nini sasa? Aki msewa mnini msewa wa nini? Msewa nduthi amekataa na do yangu. Nitadu. There are people who don't know how to make their own decisions. And that's another example of a cognitive skill. Your ability to actually make decisions. Kuna watu, they are still getting decisions made for them by their parents. Mzazi anakufanyia hadi shopping ya nyumba because you cannot make decisions for yourself. That is what we refer to as cognitive skills. Then we also have another skill which is referred to as attention. Believe me, let me tell you something. Attention is just, you are someone, very simply, you are attentive. You can sit down and listen. Now, there are people who talk too much. They are not even attentive. Like, attention is one of the skills that you really need to remember. Like, for example, in this particular TikTok, in this particular session, you're finding some weird comments from time to time. Kuna mtu tu hawezi kaa hivi bila kakitu kana mwasha. Lazima wakuja kutusi ya kuonyesha. They don't have any sense of being attentive and listening. And actually, even in primary school, how many guys used to have this problem with attention? Mwalimu Ahmad's anaandika is actually explaining a formula over there. You have a ruler, you're looking at that teacher, kumpima kuona, because there is something we used to do in primary school where if you used a hako ruler and you looked at your teacher, utamuona akiwa mbigi. Or probably you started, I don't know, doing this to your eyes to make them white. It's that lack of attention that makes you miss some things. Yeah. And that's another example of a cognitive skill. Then we also have skills like physical skills. Now, physical skills are basically related to body and include coordination, strength, or endurance to complete tasks that require physical activity. Have you ever seen hawa wase wenye wameinuanga kilo 90 za viazi? How many guys have seen that? Umeenda Kamukonji, you've seen someone very very small body lakini ameinua 90 kgs of viazi. How many guys have seen that? That guy is paid to do that particular task. And usiwahi fikiria ati juu wewe ni booster, sijui uko na kifua imefika binguni, that you can inua that. It's going to be hard for you. You see, this guy has that something we refer to as physical skills. Like I'm going to be very, like I want us to be a bit thinkers and we use our cognitive skills. Elvis, for me, I'm a slim-bodied person, so sina mwili kubwa. But I can also lift things. Msiniangalie tu hivi muone kama natandikangwa kila mahali juu sijui I don't have the physical strength. I have the physical strength. Naweza inua kiti, naweza fanya hizi vitu zote. Like if you think about it, do you think, ebu niambie umepatana na mimi kama bouncer. Si utapita na mimi, right? Like let's be very honest. Umepatana na Elvis, he's very slim. His body is not, si mwili kubwa yani. So ni ule jamaa unaweza piga kofi, pa! Mwambie atoke. And then you meet someone like Calligraph Jones. Huyo ndo umepata kama bouncer. Si utaheshimu, wakikuuliza ID unatoa hadi photocopy na unatoa hadi passport na unamwambia hiyo ndio KRA pin na hii ndio nini. Same thing with construction. Kuna mwanaume sahi, like for example, especially most of these guys who've been raised in town, it's very hard for them to actually engage in a physical activity due to their bodies. They don't have the physical skills necessary. So just to summarize it all, we've talked about 4 specific types of skills: technical skills, soft skills, cognitive skills, and physical skills. Now we move on to the next step. Now, why do you need to have a skill as a person? Like if you sit down and ask yourself the question of, why do I need to have a skill? Most people don't sit down and actually ask themselves, why is it that I actually need to have a skill? And a skill, first of all, it actually improves your chances or increases your chances of employability. Nowadays, employment, like I want you to look at job adverts today. Ukiangalia job adverts and look at qualifications and then look at required skills, you're always going to find something about this one is needed, this particular skill set is needed. How many guys have seen that? Right now, like I'll be very honest with you. How many guys have seen that you're realizing that now careers are now looking for people with a certain skill set? Cybersecurity, like for example, I'm going to be very honest with you. If Safaricom was looking for a cybersecurity specialist, na baba yako anafanya Safaricom, yeah, believe me, hata ukuwe na connection ngapi, if you don't have that particular skill set, hata hiyo, it's not going to help you. Nowadays, we are slowly moving from the world of connection to the world of abilities. And that's why I'm saying that developing a skill set and kukua na a skill allows you to increase your chances of employment. And in terms of employability, skills make individuals more marketable and employable. Now, in the job market itself, employers look for candidates with specific skill set that match the needs of their business. If someone woke up today and said that I'm looking for someone who is into video editing and digital marketing, unadhani huyo msee ataanza kusema niko na connection, niko na nini sijui kijana? No, they're going to look for that particular person who can actually do that particular thing. And that's why I'm saying that when you have skills, you have the ability to actually get employed. Now, having the right skills can lead to better job opportunities, higher salaries, and career advancement. Have you seen, I don't know, have you ever seen these IT guys? Umayenda kwa ukaona msee wa IT. You look at the guy who is working in IT and unajiuliza, yani huyu jamaa ndo analipwa 650,000. Sasa yenye mimi nafanya front office, sijui mbona hiyo imetoka hivyo, lakini I don't know where, sijai ngoa hivyo tena, but how do you confuse F and P? But anyway, haina noma. I think the message is already there. Like you find someone working in front office, analipwa 120,000 Kenya shillings. And then you find someone else working as a web developer, huyu jamaa anagongwa 250. Why? Have you ever asked yourself that question? You go, you find Soja analipwa 25,000. And then you go to the same company, hujahama. You go, you find someone else who is a data analyst. Data analyst anagongwa 250, 280. What is the difference? Skill set. You see, employment, first of all, is going to, skill set is actually going to guarantee you, first of all, higher pay, a better job, and even career advancement. Like ukichoka na hiyo job unaamua, by the way, don't think that nyinyi tu ndo mnanihitaji. Like right now, like I'll be very honest with you, Nairobi is in need of people with skills. And not only Nairobi, I've even come to realize that there are companies nowadays in different parts of the world, especially in Europe, that are looking for specific skill set. Na juu huko Europe, most of the people there are old. What do? They look for young people. Where are the young people? The young people are in Africa. Africa has the largest youthful population. So I tell people every time, like in the next 2-3 years, I know umeanza kunote that all the effects of COVID-19, they're now starting to slow. You're now realizing the economy is now starting to stabilize. Vitu zimeanza kukua sawa. And now people can actually concentrate on what is needed. So with a certain skill set, when a video editor, you're a programmer, you're a software developer, you're in cybersecurity, you're in data scientist, you're a data analyst. Believe me, 2 years from now, if you decided to sit down and hone that particular skill set, get the certifications, know everything about it, you're going to be far. Number two, the reason as to why you need a skill set. It's 9:08 p.m. We only have 22 minutes to actually end this particular session. And I'm really hoping that you're getting something. If you're getting something, you can actually give me a thumbs up. Kama unapata kitu, kama unasikia baraka imekuingia, you can actually give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Now, efficiency and productivity. Now, skills enable people to perform tasks more efficiently and effectively. Skilled individuals can often complete tasks faster and with higher quality outputs than those who are less skilled, leading to greater productivity. Like, the reason I actually say that, when you know how to do something so well, hata ujue, like wewe ndo unajua kitu vizuri sana, and you're able to do it so fast, you're going to be needed. There is someone, like for example, I'll use this very simple example. In I started learning graphic design when one day nilienda Nanyuki. I went to a certain place in Nanyuki, nikakuta msee akitengeneza a sticker, a product sticker, and I was wondering, what is this guy doing? So he designed. Nikaona amelipwa thou. Within like just less than 10 minutes, the guy had made like 1,000 shillings. And I was like, wait, what did you just do? You see, this person amejua kufanya kitu so well that they are paid for their efficiency and effectiveness. You find like there is someone who can develop a website in 50 days, and yet there is someone who knows how to develop websites so well that they can do it in 10 days. This is a person who is actually going to get it. And you see, with skills, you're able to increase your efficiency and productivity. You're able to do things more efficiently. You're able to do things so well, you're able to be productive. With skills, you're also able to solve problems. When you learn how to, engage in very many areas, like for example, if you honed a skill like graphic design, usikie tu mtu fulani akisema, by the way, mi natafuta poster, sijakuwa nikipata mtu anaweza tengeneza poster, you can actually do it. And you see, with skills, many skills involve the ability to solve problems. Now, whether it is a technical skill used to fix a machine or a soft skill like conflict resolution, being skilled means being better equipped to actually handle challenges that arise in both personal and professional settings. Like most of the time, like if you wake up in the morning and unatafuta mtu wa kutengeneza mobile application, that's a problem to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to look for someone who can actually develop that mobile application. They are actually going to solve your problem. And that's why I'm saying that learning a skill is one of the benefits of actually learning a skill, is that you're able to solve problems. Then you're also able to actually hone and improve on your social and communication skills. Like I've said, that it's very important for you as a person to get to hone some soft skills. Like every time, I think, how many guys have seen a video of me saying something about communication skills? Nimekuambia learn how to speak properly, yeah? Hiyo ndio kitu inaangushanga watu wengi sana. Like you might be invited to an interview, umeitwa interview na wazungu, wewe hujaongea kizungu, you've never spoken English, wewe umezoea tu kusema mazimbiting, manjebeteng, matongotong, and then how do you expect these guys to actually listen to your manjobotong and mazimbiting? It's not going to work for you. And then communication skills are very important. Your speech, how you write. Like briefly look at how we write messages and craft messages as Kenyans. Like if you're looking for a job, your messaging has to be very professional. And when I say very professional, I mean that you know how to write your thing properly. Now, ukiitwa interview, you can actually speak properly. That is communication skills. And most of the time, we don't want to hone this particular skill. Mtu wangu, learning how to speak and learning how to write is one of the best skills that you can hone. But you see, most of the time, we tend to ignore this particular skill and think that sinajua kuongea. But it's a problem. Have you ever gone to umaienda kanisa, kuna mtu amepatiwa microphone apeane speech and they're having a problem even pronouncing their names. You start stammering. Immediately now people start realizing, ujamaa, this confidence. Like even realistically, when we are conversing as human beings, when we are talking about things that matter, like for example, when you're talking to your friend and even writing a message to your friend, there's a certain tone unafaa kutumia. Yeah, there's this thing I've been seeing a lot online where say you don't even know how to write an email. Like when you're applying for a job, umeandika tu email, give me a job. Come and give me, I'm looking for a job, give me a job. No one is going to look at, no one is even going to open your message. Kidogo kidogo unaanza kuasha moto juu ati umeblutikiwa. Yet your message is bad. No one is even interested in reading it. Your communication skills have to be honed so well. Now, I'm going to move on to a very important and intricate discussion of this particular session. That is technical skills. Sahi wacha nikuambie, and let me be very honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. If you wanted to build yourself and improve your life today, learn a technical skill. Mtu wangu, learn a technical skill. I'll give you my story. Now, before I actually end this particular session, mimi, I joined university in 2015. I'm not very old. Kuna watu fulani wanashindanga hapa wakisema that I look like I'm a 40-year-old. I'm a 40-year-old. I'm a young person. Unanizeesha aje ati nakaa sijui niko na watoto 7. I don't have children. So I joined university in 2015. 2015, I joined a university called Dedan Kimathi University. Is there anyone from Dedan Kimathi University over here? Kuna mtu wa Dedan Kimathi University? Do you have anyone from Dedan Kimathi University? Hi, kwani nyinyi mnakuanga wapi? All the time I'm only seeing KU, JKUAT, Kimathi utawaiona hapa, lakini haidhuru. So, I was in Dedan Kimathi University pursuing a degree called procurement. How many guys have pursued procurement over here? Kama umefanya procurement. You see, the ideal thing yenye tulikuwa tunaambiwa is in procurement is that we maliza kazi, uende uajiriwe na serikali, tuwe tunakupatia mshahara ya 150,000. My friend, you're hearing someone tell you that atakuwa nakupatia mshahara ya 150,000 and you're like, we, I think I have to get that job. In my head, I knew that I'm going to finish school, niende nipatiwe job ya 150,000. And that was all I was thinking about. So I remember when I joined 2015, nikaona jamaa fulani was like 3, alikuwa na graduate hiyo mwaka. So the guy graduated and then akarudi shule kuuza samosa, mshikaki, mutura. I was like, boss, kwani I thought you did procurement. And you see with procurement, si niliambiwa ati kazi ni unapatiwa kazi ya 150,000 na unasema uongezewe mshahara every month. The guy told me, I wish I was you listening to what you were saying. The guy specifically said that amezunguka hii Kenya yote. He has taken papers left, right and center. Amepeleka KBC, amepeleka KRA, ameenda hadi Mombasa, ameenda even to NGOs, he has volunteered. Hakuna kazi amepata. And in my mind I was like, where? Kwani I was lied to. So in 2015 nikasema, by the way, let me just be brilliant, nianze kutafuta a means to an end. Because if in any case nirudi kuuza mutura hapa na kuuza mshikaki na samosa, hapana, I cannot come back after 4 years kuuza. That was my mind. So in the process, I wanted to make money when I was in university. So nikiwa university, I met a few friends of mine. They were like, let me say they were my mentors. I met a guy called Robert, nikakuta jamaa mwingine anaitwa Laban. The other guy was called Peter and Bob. These guys were all in engineering, computer science, mechanical, hizo vitu zote. But when these guys were free, walikuwa wanafanya vitu kama posters. They used to design posters and get paid. They used to develop websites and get paid. They used to develop systems and get paid. Bob used to create robots and get paid. I was like, boss, what is this that you're doing? So these guys actually told me that you can learn all these things by going to YouTube. So mimi nikaingia YouTube. I think most people actually know that if you go to YouTube, most of the teachers who are there ni Wahindi. How many guys have met Wahindi wakifunza on YouTube? Oh, welcome to today's session. Today we are talking about C++. You're always going to find those guys. So me, I decided that I'm going to go with a creative skill ya graphic design. Tena nilikuwa nataka do. So mi sikuwa nataka story ya kushinda nikisumbua mzazi. So in 2015, I introduced myself to graphic design. Nikaji-introduce to Adobe Photoshop. Nilikuwa naenda naona chenye mhindi anafanya. I replicate it. 2016 nikaingia, nikasema wacha nianze kuishi peke yangu, nitoke hostel. I started honing that particular skill. And then in 2016, I remember when I was joining second year in university, nikaona jamaa fulani amegraduate hiyo mwaka, amekuja akafungua duka ya maziwa shule. I was like, guy, yani wewe umefanya procurement na nimeona umemaliza shule. You've just finished school recently. I thought procurement was going to give you a job of like 200,000. Umekuja umeanza kuuza pasteurized milk in school. Nikasema hapana. Another friend of his comes and opens a kinyozi. Mwingine anaanza kuuza chipo. Kwani nikajiuliza, what is happening in this world? Because I expected that you guys mutamaliza procurement and get jobs immediately. Unto me. That was when I realized that most of these guys followed the major rule and the major mantra that we all get to be told. Maliza shule, tafuta kazi. I said that is not going to be my case. Mimi sitamaliza shule nianze kuuza viazi. Sitakuwa broker just because I finished school. And that was when I actually decided to hone skills. Nikajifunza graphic design, nikajifunza web development, HTML, CSS. Nikaenda into app development. Nikajifunza hizi vitu zote. But the skill that really made sense for me was graphic design. So with graphic design, I used to like create a poster. Natengenezea mtu poster and they pay me like 150. Let me tell you, 150 for a student was a lot of money. 150, unanipatia not 150,000, 150 shillings, which is $1 and some cents hapo hivyo. Mtu wangu unanipatia 150, fare yangu ilikuwa 15 bob, sapa yangu ilikuwa 30 bob. Hiyo ingine yote hiyo ni pesa mingi. That was a lot of money. 150, I've made a poster for someone. They have a certain event. And this is a skill that I've learned freely on YouTube. Nikaona kumbe hii kitu inaweza. So I actually decided to now start honing that particular skill so well. Nikanunua courses, nikanunua software, all these things. And by the time I was going for my first holiday, I'll not lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. When I was going for my holiday in 2017, do you know I got a job? I got a job from that particular skill yenye nilikuwa nimesoma just a few months. I got a job as a graphic designer in Nanyuki. And remember, in 2017 was the time politics, hizi siasa za kina Ruto nini, hapo ndo zilikuwa zimeanza kuchacha tena. Yeah? So by then, there was a lot of money in the economy. There was a lot of jobs for graphic designers. We used to do posters. We used to do all these things. Mtu wangu, nilikuwa nakafunga bana as a graphic designer. And you see, I'm on holiday. Other people walikuwa on holiday and they were at home. Me, I was not at home. I was working, getting paid. Nilikuwa napewa mshahara ya like 10,000 every month. But niko na tu vitu twangu nafanya on the side. So on average, I used to make like 30,000 Kenya shillings. And this was just from a very simple skill that I learned. Tukarudi shule third year. When I got back to school in third year, we were supposed to complete third year and then we go for attachment. So attachment was mandatory, singekata. I went for my attachment, my industrial attachment in Mombasa. Nilienda KRA. KRA is the worst place to be for attachment. Hao jamaa walikuwa natugonga mshahara ya like 7,000 in Mombasa. Imagine, I want you to give you a realistic situation. Unalipwa 7,000 and then these guys will tax you 1,600 Kenya shillings. Ile pesa inaingia kwa bank is 5,400 Kenya shillings. 5,400 shillings and you're in Mombasa. nilikuwa naishi nyumba ya mabati. Just because you cannot live in a good house, I used to stay in a nyumba ya mabati, and you're in Mombasa na hiyo joto yote, so you can evidently see the problem. I decided kama hii ndio kazi, I don't want it anymore. So immediately attachment yangu iliisha. Hata I didn't even wait for sijui recommendation letter, I didn't wait for sijui bye bye. Mi nilikuwa kwa matatu nirudi kwetu, and I was ready to set up my first business and venture into my first business fully on graphic design. And that was where my journey started. From then on, I was able to graduate university, nikaweza kufanya something on graphic design. I got into web design. I was able to run my own agency. And as you can see already, niko hapa. I have learned all these things by myself. Nimeketi chini nikarealize that this is a message that we all need to get. You can get paid for doing something. Now, most of the time, what we get today is entitlement. Entitlement in the sense that umemaliza shule, unataka serikali kupee kazi. It doesn't work like that. And one thing we really have to get and grasp is that for you to stand out in today's world, you need to be skilled. When I say skilled, you need to be honing digital skills, especially for very many young people. Nowadays, the market is now, let me say, we have a lot of digitization. Sahi nikikwambia vitu kama blockchain. How many guys have heard of blockchain? Blockchain. How many guys have at any one point umesikia blockchain? These are things we all need to understand. Like if someone comes and tells you something like proof of contract, proof of work, someone comes and tells you something about video editing, someone comes and tells you something about programming, something about web development, cyber security. How many guys are doing cyber security over here? How many guys are doing cyber security? Kama umeanza cyber security, please go on. Please go on. Kama unaivia cyber security, please go on. That's one thing I'm going to be very sure and tell you. Please move on. We have skills like digital marketing. We have skills like content creation. We have sales. Yeah, those are skills that are very tangible in today's world. Digital marketing. How many guys have that particular skill? Usually, we had a bootcamp on digital marketing. Yeah, you can see very many people are actually in that particular field. And I'll honestly tell you at this moment that if you want to start earning a stable income today, the first most important thing that you have to remember is that you need to have a skill set. And a skill set is basically knowing how to do something so well. You can actually decide to teach yourself. You can practice it. Yeah. You can even get mentorship. Like if you sat down with people and listen to them, you could actually learn a skill. Like for me, I think every month you realize that to make one sessions on skill acquisition. Like you're going to find that most of the time we are really talking about how you can do a particular thing so well, how you can actually get to learn this particular thing. Like a brief example, we have a coming up graphic design bootcamp. The bootcamp is actually starting on the 8th of May. And currently we have quite a number of people who've actually joined that particular bootcamp. And the reason as to why we are holding it is for you to get to acquire the necessary skills that are needed today. Like I'll break it down for you. In graphic design is an entire skill by itself. Like with graphic design, you can get paid to do logos. Who over here knows how to design a logo? Anyone over here who knows how to design a logo? Yeah, you can see very many people are actually in that. And I'll honestly tell you one thing. During COVID, sayenye watu walikuwa wanapoteza kazi, we were making a lot of money by then. By then, if kama ungekuwa unafunga with like maybe 5,000 by the end of the day, just doing something, someone is going to contact you and tell you, hey, we need you to design a logo for us. We've just recently registered a company, these are the details. Design the logo for us. And you find that it was an amazing opportunity for someone to actually do that. So, to cut the long story short, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make this session one thing to actually open your mind for you to get to understand that skills are very, very important. Skills provide you a chance to actually, first of all, gain better employment opportunities. Number two, you actually stand out in an industry. Like if you think about it, kitambo, for you to get a promotion kazini, what people used to do this? People used to go ahead and go back to school, unafanya masters, unafanya sijui nini. How many guys used to hear that? Ama ulimaliza shule, ukaambiwa enroll into masters. How many guys have done that? Umemaliza shule, ukaingia masters. And then after umemaliza masters, you're not even getting a job. Unaingia PhD. So you're Dr. Kiprop Minor, but unalima kwa shamba. Why? because you didn't really get the necessary information that you needed to actually stand out in the market. Sahii unakuta mtu alimaliza form 4 akajifunza tu ka skill kadogo tu hivi, anakulia vibaya sana. You find someone who learned how to do plumbing. Jamani, plumber na anatengeneza pesa mingi sana kuliko banker. It's important that you need to know that it's for us to actually get into work. We all need to learn that for you as a person to get paid, you have to be doing something. What is that particular thing that you're doing? It's a skill set. Get paid to design a website, get paid to design a logo, get paid to do data analysis, yeah, get paid to develop a program. But sasa wewe unatafuta kazi ushindange kwa ofisi ukisema we kuna chai imebaki, we Karo is the boss around, nione kaa nitakuja, excuse me, unashinda. That's the only thing unashindanga kwa kazi, excuse me. That's most of the time. Like if you look at the job setup itself, like kuna watu hawafanyangi, hakuna kazi wanafanyanga for an entire day, yeah. Someone is saying that you're planning to go back to school and do masters. Achana nayo. What are you going to do to masters? Unarudi kufanya masters. Well, you only need 2,000 Kenya, 2,000 peke yake. You go, you buy a course on Udemy. Uende ujifunze something so well. Go learn how to use a programming language. Go learn how to develop a website. Yeah? Go to a website called udemy.com. Fungua udemy.com. You see the number of skills that are there that you can actually get to learn. Why are you going to do and waste 400,000 Kenya shillings kwa masters? Si hiyo pesa ununue shamba na uchukue ununue shamba na 380,000. Hiyo 20,000 imebaki, you go and buy courses. That is good. That's a good investment for you. But you see, most people have always been fed with the idea that for you as a person to actually stand out in the market, lazima ukuwe na degree, diploma, masters, PhD. Look at the guys we elect in parliament. Go to look at the guys we have in parliament. Do they even have diplomas and PhDs? Someone like if you look at all of them, just a few guys have degrees and diplomas. Chenye wako na akili mzuri. Wengine unakuta they have very good cognitive skills. Yeah. Someone is saying hawa ni wakora. I mean, yes, to an extent I would say that yes, but if you think about it, wako hapo juu ya degree zao na diploma. So the thing is, we all need to have that particular skill set that is really important for you as a person. Knowing how to operate something like a camera is one skill that I would say that's something that you can earn from. Wewe umesoma 4 years, umefunzwa how to do. How many guys over here wamefanya BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration? How many guys have done that particular course? BBA. How many guys have done BCom? BCom. Siku hizi unakuta mse wa Uber, mimi nilifanya BCom. You go somewhere else, nilifanya BCom. Unakuta waiter, BCom. Unakuta huyu procurement. Unakuta huyu IT. Unakuta huyu, like I recently saw a supermarket attendant mwenye amefanya computer science. And you wonder, wasn't this person learning something tangible in school? And that's the reason as to why I'm really talking about the importance of skills. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's already at 9:30 p.m. and I want to bring my session to a close over here. But the very important thing I just want you to remember is this: that skill set is one of the most important things that you can have today. It is actually going to allow you to, first of all, earn a better income, improve on your life. All right. You can actually get to even understand things that you can do as a person even better. Like, for example, if you decided to go ahead and learn something like programming, utakuwa mbele. Like in Nairobi at the moment, I was just looking at a survey of some of the most in-demand skills. The first skill that is highly in demand in Nairobi today is digital marketing. Digital marketing is one skill that is on high demand. Walk into any business and ask them, do you need a digital marketer? Yes. Tunataka mtu wa kumanage socials. Go to any company. Do you need a digital marketer? Yes, of course, we need a digital marketer. Now, what is your role as a digital marketer? Social media management, social media marketing, graphic design, all these things. Like if you think about that particular skill, learn that skill and then come back and tell me what you think about it in like 6 months. That's a skill. Skill number 2 is sales. Sales. Achana na history yenye mnaenda kufunzwa sales and marketing in school. Sales itself. Kuna mtu amefunzwa sales and marketing in school na hawezi kuja akuuzie chupa ya maji. But kuna mtu mwingine amefunzwa tu how to do sales within 2 days and they've grasped it. Mwingine amefunzwa 4 years, you've been learning sales and marketing. But ukitoka kwa streets, you cannot even sell a bottle of water. Hata ukiambiwa uze mahindi, you cannot sell. Because you are not given the necessary skills that you need. That's another skill that is highly needed. Skill number 3, and very, very important, is graphic design. Najua haters wanangojeanga niseme graphic design so that they come and start saying, unashinda hapa ukituambia graphic. Graphic design is very important. Let me not lie to you. Every business, every person, like today, if you sat down, Kanisa, they need a graphic designer. Posters are not going to create themselves. Invitation cards, they're not going to create themselves. Flyers, they're not going to create themselves. Yeah. Tule tu advert unaonanga social media, they're not going to create themselves. A graphic designer does that. Another very, very important skill that we need to get and grasp today is a skill on programming. Programming itself, just understand how to use programming languages. Go understand how to use, first of all, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Move on to high-level programming languages like Python. Understand something like Java, PHP. Understand how these programming languages work. Then another very important skill is web development and web design. Any business that is being registered today, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing they say is, we are looking for a website. We need a website. We need this. We need that. We need this. So it's very important and very ideological for you to get to understand and hone these particular skills. Then we also have skills on video editing, content creation. How many guys are content creators over here? How many guys are content creators? Ama unaogopa kufanya content creation juu ya haters? Haters will never take you anywhere if you think about them. Do your content creation. Content creation is one of the skills that I tell people, get into it. There are various forms of content creation. You can do a podcast. Yeah. You can actually do video kind of content. You can even create blogs. You can even do social media posts. Create content. Offer value to people. That's a skill that we need to hone, among very many other skills. Now, over and above, as someone is saying over here in Nifunge chapter, it's very important for you to get to hone a skill. A skill is going to allow you to, first of all, get better employment opportunities. It's also going to allow you to actually improve on your life in general. It's also going to give you the ability to work efficiently, effectively, and improve your productivity. So over and above, ladies and gentlemen, my 1 hour is done. And without maybe further discussion, I just want to bring this particular session to an end. Ili tumalize hii story. But I'm really hoping that from this particular session, you've been able to hone a thing or two, especially when it comes to skills. So the skills are actually listed in my Telegram channel. If you click the link in my bio on TikTok, you can actually join my Telegram channel. Now, to those who might also be interested, we have a graphic design bootcamp that is going to be starting on the 8th of May, 2024. It's basically all about graphic design, talking about how you can actually monetize graphic design as a person, as an individual, and even get to understand everything about it. It's going to be running for 3 months. So if you might be interested, you can actually reach out to me. But the main message, ladies and gentlemen, is hone a skill. And with that, I want to bring the session to an end. So kama umepata something, thank you for being part of this particular session. If anyone has a question, you can actually go ahead and ask the question. To the guys on TikTok, thank you so much for being in this particular session. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for listening so much to this. And I really do appreciate. So if in any case you have a question, I'm going to allow 3 people to actually ask the questions. So if you want to ask your question, you can actually just raise your hand if you probably have a question. If you have a question, you can actually raise your hand. Kama uko na swali. Yeah. Good. If you have a question, raise your hand. That is, if you have a question, raise your hand. Okay. Brian Kiprono, go ahead. You can ask your question. Okay. Maurice Kemoyo, ask your question. Okay. Duncan Miner, ask your question.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Duncan. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thanks. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
There's something you always emphasize, especially on the skill set, and there are quite a lot.
Yes.
Um,
Uh-huh.
for beginners,
Mhm.
how would you like prioritize? Like these would be the most basic ones as you are sent to the more complex ones, so that we don't start with what perhaps we were supposed to be dealing with later and
Mhm.
compromise on the basics.
I think one of the most important skills that I tell people to get started with, which is very simple for beginners, is writing. Yeah, that's a basic skill that we all need to have, and yeah, that's what I tell people to start with. Creative writing, like if you might know how to do something so well, but if you're told to put it in writing, it's going to be a problem for you. I really tell people that if in any case you want to get started in any form of skill, I really tell people to start with writing. When you move from writing itself, I tell people that you can now move on to the creative aspect of skills. And when we say the creative aspect of these particular of skills, it's basically something like art. We have graphic design, we have video editing, something that really brings in creativity, and something that just allows you to create something from your thoughts. Like you can sit down and conceptualize a logo. That's the creative aspect. Then we can move on to the let me say the high technical aspect of skills, where you start learning things like programming, doing things like data analysis, data science, among all these. But ideally, I tell people start with something like writing, that is creative writing. Yeah, know how to write something properly. Like if you think about it, writing is probably one of the best skills that you can learn today, or even teach yourself. Like if you're able to sit down and learn something like how to write company profiles, business plans, you utakulia. Like for me, remember when I was doing graphic design, it's not really consistent they are not really consistent jobs. But because I had actually known how to do writing so well, I used to do business plans, I used to do company profiles. So writing is one skill I would tell people start with that. After that, you can actually move on to the creative skills, graphic design, video editing, animation, web design. Then you can move on now to the high technical skills like programming itself. You can even do app development, software development, get into data science, data analysis, artificial intelligence. This is just my recommendation. I hope I've answered your question. Okay. Roy Mohenja, go ahead and ask your question. Okay, we'll move on to Kevin Morris. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Elvis, when you say like you got into graphic design just after or when you are in university, so like I have honed the skill when I am in my job 8 to 5, and I feel like I should quit it and get into freelancing.
You said that
I feel like in the next 1 month I should quit, then get into freelancing because that's where I find my passion. But it comes with some fear. Like how will you survive?
Rephrase your question again and start from there, and start from the beginning.
When you say like you began graphic design while you're in university, it seems easy, right? And personally, I honed the skill while in an 8 to 5 job, and I feel like it's my passion, and I feel like quitting, then I get into freelance.
Yes, you do it, bro. No, nothing. Me, I tell people.
You make it easy, but it comes with some fear outside there.
Well, me, I'm telling you, you need to learn to face your fears. Most people you've learned something.
Yeah.
Anja kuogopa. If you've honed that particular skill so well, I tell people right now, use social media as a powerful tool it is. Like when you hone a skill, like I tell people, when you hone that particular skill, start talking about it on social media. Ambia watu, by the way, mi nafanyanga this and this. Like if you, do you use LinkedIn? Kevin, do you
Yeah,
know how to use, you use
I'm
LinkedIn, eh?
15. Yeah.
Bona, go and tell people you do those particular services and have like a 3-month exit strategy. The moment umeanza kuingiza client 1 2 1 2, ende uambie shikeni barua. I'm no longer waking up tomorrow to this particular job.
Naeleweka.
But you have to face your fears. You have to face your fears. Now, assuming you are fired, utafanya nini?
Hiyo ndo nitaelekea hapo.
Si unaona utaenda tu hapo. Like at the end of the day, you're fired, COVID is back. Utarudi tu hapo penye ulikuwa unataka kwenda. So you get.
Yes.
So the idea is face your fears and remember that at the end of it all, you have to, you know, go where your passion is. Like ukifeel ni hapo, just go. I think everyone needs to understand that in the world that you're living in today, your passions and your wants and what you want to do as a person, please follow that. Ukiamua you want to travel the world for the rest of your life, sawa. The world is giving you all the abilities and everything that you do. You don't have to be stuck to a 9 to 5. You don't really have to be stuck. So me, I'll tell you, face your fears, wake up in the morning. If you want to go the freelancer way, do it.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Next question is from who? Who have I actually seen asking a question over here? Joy Wanjiko, go ahead, ask your question.
Good evening, Elvis.
Good evening, Joy.
Mine is just to appreciate you. Actually, it's not a question. I started following you back in 2022. I was in 4th year. By then, I was like finishing my campus level. And you were really speaking about skills. And let me tell you, that is a game changer for me because I started learning digital marketing. And so far, so good. It's good. It's
good
really
for you.
nice. Yeah, it's really good and it's working for me. And I want to appreciate you so much. And even the ones who are listening to you, let's go the skills way because that's where the money is.
Yeah, that's nice. A round of applause to Joy for that. That's very good.
Yeah, asante sana, Elvis. Continue with what you're doing. Achana na
Asante.
maheta.
Me, I sleep like a baby. I don't even mostly care about what people say about me on social media. But that's very good, Joy. Joy Wanjiko apigiwe makofi. That's very nice.
Asante.
That's very nice. You see someone this is very interesting. By the way, I'll be frankly for me, I'll say that the skills way is the best decision that you can take. And hers is not the only story I get. I remember there was this jamaa used to be a hater. Anytime I post a video, hakuna kitu unajua wewe, gasia wewe. Like I used to get that a lot from that particular jamaa. So I don't know how the guy actually eventually joined my Telegram channel, but the jamaa alinitumia message on WhatsApp and he first of all told me, bro, mimi I used to be your hater. But at the end of the day, I think it's sensible to first listen to someone before you label them a hater, before you label them as weird and absurd. And seeing like the message is getting out there, that's very good. So when I see comrades when I graduate wakiwa na that mentality, that's very nice. Believe me that we are now looking at a world that is working on skills and the need for you to do something. So that's a very bold and awesome step that you've taken, Joy. If you actually hone your skills so well, I'm even willing to give you a job if you might be interested. So ukivia vizuri sana, Joy, I'll personally take, you know?
Niko interested. Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, make sure you text me. Unaona venye mtu anapatanga kazi rahisi sana. Just by following the right thing, following the right step. You're most welcome, Joy. I currently have a team of 10 people. So are you based in Nairobi?
Yes, I'm in Nairobi.
Where are you based in Nairobi?
In Kikuyu. I live
Would
in
you like
Kikuyu.
to would you like to join? Is Daisy here? Daisy Keter? Daisy Keter. There's a lady called Daisy. Daisy is okay. So Joy Wanjiko, what you'll do, I think you've seen me talk about Daisy, right?
Yes, yeah. The community manager.
Yes, the community manager. Make sure you text her. She's actually going to arrange for you to be attending our networking sessions, as well
Okay.
as be part of the various programs that we have. So for me, what I'll do as an amazing offer for you
Okay.
is that I'll give you free access to our graphic design bootcamp starting in May. Is that good?
Yes, that is good. That is so good. Thank you so much.
Instead of paying 10,500, we give it to you for free just by the mere fact that you've really put in the work that is needed for you honing your skill, right?
Yes.
That's very good. A round of
Thank you
applause
so
again to
much.
Joy. Make sure you text, you see this guy
How will I
called
reach
someone
you?
Dirango over here?
Yes.
Mangoes.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes, I've seen Simon Dirango.
There's Mangoes. Unmute yourself.
Yes. Hey.
Joy,
Yes.
you look, Mangoes, make sure you follow on her. Mangoes is also part of us. So Mangoes is actually going to guide you on how you can actually be part of our team.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And if you
How
have
will I
time,
reach you? Please. How will I?
and if you have time, yes?
Okay. How will I reach Mango?
No. You can actually text Daisy first. If she
Okay.
doesn't reply, you can text me. I'll send you Mango's number.
Okay.
Yes, but it's very nice with what you're doing. I want to welcome you, first of all, to all our networking sessions that you're going to be having. So be part of them. Come learn a thing or two. It's really going to help you. Having someone who is passionate and doing something for themselves, me, I really appreciate. Like what we do ideally for us is empower young people. And it's people like you, Joy, that who
Yes.
take the bold step and do something that need the commendation and the guide. Mimi nimekupatia all I can. Is that okay?
Yes, that is very much okay. Thank you so much, Elvis.
Good. Make sure you text Daisy. Anyway, thank you guys for being part of this session today. I just want to end the session tonight and say that all is well. Learn a skill, hone a skill. You can also get to benefit a lot from being part of our sessions. For me, I'm a legit person. Me, Mrs. Coming out. I just want to be very honest. We don't have physical classes at the moment, but we're going to be starting the physical classes in September. The physical classes are going to be on weekends. That is in September, that is. Zitakuwa on weekends for just a select few. But currently what we have are virtual classes. You can also be part of them. This is one of the classes that you got. This is actually already a class that we've been having on personal development. We've been having sessions on personal development, and this is one of the sessions. So if you might also be interested in being part of the sessions, you can always get more information in my Telegram channel. I believe quite a number of you are actually part of it. So that's very good. Anyway, I personally empower young people. I actually help you make bolder decisions. People like Mengos over here, Mengos has really improved in his life. He's been among the best students. You can see someone like Paul Denzel. We have Anduku. These are people who are doing something for themselves. Duncan, I've actually seen him severally. He's been really someone who's actually been doing a lot. And Brian Kiprono as well. So I've seen Benjamin Okumu. I've seen Beverly Viola. I've seen Caroline Karemi. I can see who. I'm seeing very many people over here that I've really seen all through my sessions. This lady, Cynthia Mbari. Yeah, kuna watu Emmanuel Kiprono. I've seen him in all our sessions, which is really good. I've also seen Elegant, Grace M. Elegant. I've seen you all across. James Mbogwa, one of our top students. Yeah, we also have who? Nani yako hapa? Kuna mtu anangojea nimtaje. But anyway, if you have a question, I think you can direct the question directly to me on WhatsApp. But over and above, we have a really engaging community. So in any case, if you have any question, if you want to ask something, you can always reach out to me. So thank you guys for being part of the session.